Then We Win, Part 2 of 2, by Michael Belcher. Yesterday we identified their technique. They do not argue, they mock. They do not debate, they debase. It works because you have not yet learned to smile back at their laughter and press on to victory. You have not yet learned to reject their entire frame and reframe the whole situation along terms that ensure their defeat instead of ours. That changes today. The exploitation of agreeableness. We are a nation of men and women raised to embrace conflict aversion as a supreme virtue and to shrink from the kind of plain, unflinching social rebuke that every healthy culture has always required. It is within this vacuum of warranted masculine aggression that cancel culture and social taboo-making thrives. The left did not create our conflict aversion, but they identified it, mapped it, and built their entire social enforcement apparatus on top of it. From Counterspell, it appears that the most potent psychological tool of the opposition is the exploitation of agreeableness. We do not want to think of ourselves as bad or evil, and will make the choice to be discriminating with language to avoid cognitive dissonance. It is simply human nature that when a person becomes emotionally upset about something, others tend to assume that the thing causing the emotional disturbance is real and not fake. They give the distressed person the benefit of the doubt and begin working to alleviate their distress. It is through such emotional assertions of paramorality that the left makes people hostage to, or indoctrinates them into, pseudo-reality. Niceness is not a virtue. It is the absence of a virtue. All that is required to achieve the false virtue of being nice is to be averse to conflict, and all that is required to avoid conflict is to allow evil to win uncontested. The cure is good men, not nice guys. Their foundation is social, not rational. Here is the intellectual key that changes everything. The mechanisms of leftism do not stand on reality. They stand on social ground, socially negotiated, socially constructed, socially enforced, and socially disastrous. This understanding must completely alter our strategy. We cannot win by leaning into facts and evidence alone when their very foundations are located on another continent entirely. We must embrace the use of social mechanisms toward positive ends, because that is the only terrain on which their edifice can be reached. From Counterspell, their own presuppositions, being socially constructed and socially affirmed, are resistant to the same kind of presuppositional attack from the right. The socially constructed foundation stands or falls on social affirmation or stigmatization, which means it can only be undermined by disrupting the affirmation infrastructure and taboo-making. This is why the right's argumentative victories are sterile. Defeating a leftist argument on its merits does nothing to the social affirmation machinery that sustains the leftists' presuppositions. Laughter is their cheapest weapon. It costs them nothing to deploy. We've already been socially conditioned as the punching bag. This dynamic was perfected, perhaps most visibly in the 20-year run of The Daily Show, a vapid, content-free comedic enterprise in masterful social manipulation that did more to set the terms of acceptable opinion than any policy argument on earth. But it only works while we shrink from the laughter, instead of turning the joke back around on the court jester. The moment everything flips. When the laughter stops working on you, we have a firm foundation on which to launch the counterattack. When the laughter stops working in the culture, when it lands on deaf ears, or worse for them, draws a knowing laugh back, we are winning. From Counterspell, what is happening when a credentialed stranger invokes the science at you is not a moment of legitimate epistemic authority meeting a layman. It is an act of dialectical subordination in which a religious ideology, laundered through captured institutions, is deployed to silence a competing set of presuppositional commitments. The entire performance is a shell game, and the whole game depends on your willingness to accept the premise that one side is science and the other is merely opinion. You must refuse the premise. Once you see this, it cannot work on you anymore. You will still be called a denier. You will still be told to trust the experts, but you will see the maneuver for what it is, a frightened priesthood reaching for its trusty weapon. And oh, what a sight it is to behold when that sheath flexes empty and their faces reflect their horror. What to do? Monday morning. Counterspell is not about documenting the collapse all around us for posterity. It is about halting the collapse and building back what made America great in the first place. It is a battle manual toward victory. But a battle manual is only useful to a soldier who acts. The action is simpler than you think. From Counterspell. Taboo is a tool. Use it. The left captured the culture by making its enemies' beliefs unspeakable. The same mechanism runs in reverse. Shame is an underrated teacher. A sharp tongue is the first sword. Use it before the law has to. Open rebuke is a gift to the person being rebuked and to the community watching. Silence is complicity dressed up as manners. The people around you need to hear someone say the thing they are afraid to say. Be that person often enough, and others will become that person too. The close. Their laughter is their only garment. It is them who stand nude before the class. They need all eyes on you to avert the gaze from their own nakedness, from the spellcasting, and from the damnable ethics underneath. Do not give them that courtesy. Direct the eyes squarely to their nakedness, their sophistry, and their empty arsenal. Never be on the back foot. Put them on the back foot. They are laughing because laughter is the last thing in their quiver. The argument was never there. The science was never real. The authority was always borrowed from institutions they captured, not earned by ideas that survived scrutiny. Every day that their laughter lands on someone who simply no longer cares, someone who has seen the machinery and refuses the flinch, is a day the spell weakens. They need your embarrassment. Stop giving it to them. Counterspell by Michael Belcher. Available now for pre-order on Amazon, where it is number 1 in the new release chart. The full history of how this system was built, who built it, how it captured your institutions, and what the counteroffensive looks like at every level from your living room to the state legislature. The Laughter has an answer. This book is it.